विष्णुपदाय कृष्णापृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणिका प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी आचार्य सतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय कृष्ण बलराम 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 जय जगन्नाथ जय बलादेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय बलादेवा जय सुभद्रा। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथ गमे बाबतु मे। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथ गमे बाबतु मे। जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरे। जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरे। गौरा गौरा गौर हरे गौरा गौरा गौर हरे गौरा गौरा गौर हरे। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो जय निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो जय गौर हरि। गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। गौ प्रमानंदे हरि बोल। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगामयी यमुनामयी की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories all glories all glories. Lord Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Prabhupada की जय। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनित नामने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्य देस्तारणे वाद की जय। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाददायिने प्रहलाद लाददायिने हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः शिलताङ्कानकालये शिलताङ्कानकालये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा वहे नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा वहे नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे नाखा अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तन भृंगा केशवद्रेता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तब कर कमल मरे नाखा अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तन भृंगा केशवद्रेता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदे जय नरसिंहदे जय नरसिंहदे जय नरसिंहदे जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज विघ्नराज नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्त श्रवण प्रहलाद महाराज की जय गो प्रमानंदी हरि हरि गो जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरदारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरदारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंजा बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरदारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंजा विहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंजा विहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 ओम तत्सत. Okay. Reading from Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 1, Chapter 1 title Observing the Armies, verse number 20. Verse number 27, we'll see up to probably 30, 35 probably. This is all one section, last section from 27. 27 all the way to 46 is one big section. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayat nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Good. Chapter 1, verse number 27 from Bhagavad Gita. Tan samikshya sa kaunteya sarvan bandhu navastitan krupaya paraya vishto visidhan idam abravit. Tan samikshya sa kaunteya sarvan bandhu navastitan krupaya paraya vishto visidhan idam abravit. Tan samikshya sa kaunteya sarvan bandhu navastitan krupaya paraya vishto visidhan idam abravit. Word to word translation. Tan, all of them. Samiksha, after seeing. Sa, he. Kaunteya, the son of Kunti. Sarvan, all kinds of. Bandhun, relatives. Avastitan, situated. Krupaya, by compassion. Paraya, of a high grade. Avishta, overwhelmed. Visidam, by lamenting. Idam, thus. Abravit, spoke. Translation. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Please repeat. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Verse number 28. Arjuna vacha društvevam svajanam Krishna yutsam samupastitam sidanti mama gatrani mukam cha parisushyati. Arjuna vacha društvevam svajanam Krishna yutsam samupastitam sidanti mama gatrani mukam cha parisushyati. Arjuna vacha društvevam svajanam Krishna yutsam samupastitam sidanti mama gatrani mukam cha parisushyati. What to translation? Arjuna vacha, Arjuna said, društva, after seeing, imam, all these, svajanam, kinsmen, Krishna, O Krishna, yutsam, all in a fighting spirit, samupastitam, present, sidanti, are quivering, mama, my, gatrani, limbs of the body, mukam, mouth, cha, also, parisushyati, is drying up. Translation. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. Repeat. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. Verse number 29. Vipatuscha sarire me romaharshascha jayate gandivam samsate hastat tvakchaiva paridahyate. विपतुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते गाण्डीवं संसते हस्तात् त्वक् चैव परिदाह्यते विपतुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षस्य जायते गाण्डीवं संसते हस्तात् त्वक् चैव परिदाह्यते. Translation, word to word translation. Vepatu, trembling of the body, cha also, sarire, on the body, me, my, Romaharsha, standing of hair on end, cha also, Jayate is taking place, Gandivam, the bow of Arjuna, Samsate is slipping, Hastat, from the hand, Tvak, skin, cha also, Eva, certainly, Paridahyate is burning. Translation. My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. Just repeat. My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. Verse number 30. न च शक्नोमि अवस्थातुं भ्रामतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न च शक्नोमि अवस्थातुं भ्रामतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न च शक्नोमि अवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव. Word to word translation. No, not, cha also, shaknomi, am I able, avastatum, to stay, brahmati, forgetting, iva, as, cha, and, me, my, manaha, mind, nimittani, causes, cha also, pasyami, I see, viparitani, just the opposite, Kesava, O killer of the demon Kesi, Krishna. Translation by S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. Please repeat. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. Verse number 31. न च श्रेयो अनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न कांक्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च न च श्रेयो अनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न कांक्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च न च श्रेयो अनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न कांक्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च. Whatever translation, na, not, cha, also, Shreya, good, Anupashyami, do I foresee, Atva, by killing, Swajanam, own kinsman, Ahave, in the fight, na, not, Kankshe, do I desire, Vijayam, victory, Krishna, O Krishna, na, not, cha, also, Rajyam, the kingdom, Sukhani, happiness, thereof, cha, also. Translation. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Please repeat. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Verse number 32 to 35. That will stop here. किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगसुखानि च तायिमे अवस्थिता युद्धे प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्या पितरः पुत्रा तथैव च पितामहा मातुला स्वसुरा पौत्रा स्वाला सम्बन्धिनस्तथा एतान्न हन्तुम् इच्छामि ज्ञतो अपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतो किं नु मही कृते Nihatyadartarashtrana ka priti janardhana. Many names of the Lord is being used here. Kim no rajyena govinda kim bhogair jivitena va esham arde kankshitam no rajyam bhogai sukani cha ताई में अवस्थिता युद्धे प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्या पितरः पुत्रा तथैव च पितामहाः मातुला श्वशुरः पौत्राः श्याला सम्बन्धिनस्तथा एतान् हन्तुम् इच्छामि ज्ञतोऽपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतो किं नो मही कृते निहत्यदाप्तराष्ट्रान्न का प्रीति स्यात् जनार्दना. What translation? Kim, what use not to us Rajyena is the kingdom, Govinda. O Krishna, Kim, what? Bhogaihi, enjoyment, Jivitena, living, Va, either, Esham, of whom, or they, for the sake, Kankshitam is desired, Na, by us, Rajyam, kingdom, Bhogaihi, material enjoyment, Sukhani, all happiness, Cha, also, they, all of them, Ime, these, Avastitaha, situated, Yuddhe, on the battlefield, Pranan, lives, Tyaktva, giving up, Dhanani, riches, Cha, also, Acharya, teachers, Pitara, fathers, Putra, sons, Tata, as well as Eva, certainly, Cha, also, Pitamaha, grandfathers, Matulaha, maternal uncles, Swasuraha, fathers-in-law, Pautra, grandsons, Shyala, brothers-in-law, Sambandhina, relatives, Tata, as well as Etan, all these. Na, never, Hantum, to kill. Ichami, do I wish, Gnataha, being killed. Api, even, Madhusudana, O killer of the demon Madhu, Krishna. Api, even if, Trilokya, of the three world, Rajyasya, for the kingdom, Heto, in exchange, Kim no, what to speak of, Mahikrute, for the sake of the earth, Nihatya, by killing, Dartarashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra, Na, our, Ka, what, Preeti, pleasure, Syat, will there be, Janardana, O maintainer of all living entities. So, translation. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them even in exchange for the three worlds. Let alone this earth, what pleasure will be derived from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? See the questions Arjuna is asking. Please repeat. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all of these for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, father-in-law, grandsons, brother-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds. Let alone this earth, what pleasure will be derived from the killing of the sons of Dhritarashtra? Amazing. Yeah. So we'll stop here. We'll try to understand. Om Jnanatimiram Dasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mokam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yat Krupatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Denataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram. Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much for joining. So we are in the last section of this chapter, introduction title, Observing the Armies. So in another sense also Arjuna Vishada Yoga, that Vishada Yoga is starting in the last section, that is the last section actually. So Here, this section is titled from verse number 27 all the way to 46, last verse. So it is titled Arjuna's doubts, Arjuna's questions. Arjuna doesn't want to fight and is giving his reasons. So Arjuna's doubts, Arjuna's questions, Arjuna's reasons for not doing the duty. He is giving reasons to Krishna. He is telling all from the Niti Shastra, Dharma Shastra, so many other actual, not the real, the transcendental subject, but is all Chaladharma, Upadharma, not the real core identity. He is talking from the below level, lower levels. So that, and then he is giving his various ideas and reasons why he shouldn't do this activity. As we also do at difficult times. This is in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Everybody is watching. This is Krishna and Arjuna. In between them, this conversation is going on. Sanjay is seeing. Sanjay is speaking to Dhritarashtra, is relating what is happening. So that is verse number 27, starting here. As mentioned, very important verse 27. That will start here. तान समीक्ष सकौन्तेय सर्वान् बंधून् अवस्थितान् कृपया परयाविष्टं विसीदम् idam अब्रवीत्. There is no purport, but you can clearly see what it means. When the sons of Kunti, Arjuna, when the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends, relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. So that is krupaya, means compassion, parayavishto, visidam, lamenting. So that specific verse, important verse is Samiksha. Samiksha, it means here all of them are after seeing. So he saw who and all, he checked both sides, not only his side, Pandava's side, but also Kaurava's side. Both sides his relatives are there at different levels, different grades, all the way from grandfather to his friends, and many of them are there. And he also looked at not only the human being, but also there are elephants and horses and many other species of life are also there on this battlefield. So here he was overwhelmed with compassion. So the word used is Samiksha. Samiksha means in Hindi or Telugu or in any language you look at, Samiksha means when it is used. It is to review the actual activity with analyze. So analysis. But in Sanskrit terms, it also means samiksha. So iksha means seeing, means sam means samyak means complete. When the living entity doesn't have a complete knowledge, so what is that knowledge? Shastra is explaining. In the introduction, we have seen that Prabhupada explains Pratyaksha Praman, Anumana Praman, Shabda Praman. But here it goes much more detailed. And from Srimad Bhagavatam also, this is the reference. When the living entity gets full knowledge, means first he needs to understand actually seeing what he sees, perceives, that is Pratyaksha. That is the first level one. Next, he needs to understand level one is it doesn't help much. It helps only very limited. If you want to really progress in our life, then we must go with the other. And there are 5 kinds or 6 kinds of knowledge. The next one is the paroksha. The first one is pratyaksha, what we see directly perceive. Second one is called paroksha. Paroksha means receiving the knowledge from the higher authorities, especially bona fide spiritual masters. Even the material knowledge, for that sake, we receive when we go to colleges or universities. We receive the knowledge from those who are experienced, who have practiced it before. So that same way, spiritual knowledge, it increases even more. Not just pratyaksha, but actually paroksha is much more important. Paroksha. So then next further is aparoksha. Pratyaksha, paroksha. Paroksha receiving knowledge from the bona fide acharyas in a disciplic succession, higher authorities, advanced devotees. So that is the paroksha. Then the aparoksha means after receiving, then we have to realize it. We have to realize it. That is called aparoksha. So this is the level 3. Because it's a gradual progress, but still it is first one is completely material, the pratyaksha. Because whatever we see, we may see mountain in a distance, it is raining or it's cloudy. We may see at the very, very distant place, we may see something, mountain, but we don't know what is there on the top, what is there on the mountain, what and all. It could be, dry, or it may have so many things. But as you come close and close, then we know, oh, this mountain has so many things. The houses, the plants and flowers and fruits and whatnot, so many things we may see. Some temples, some places have so many wonderful things on the mountain. We see, especially in India, here we may not see waterfalls and so many things. So that we will not see when we far distance, especially if it is fog or clouds are there, then we cannot even perceive it. So that's why Pratyaksha Praman is not always, in most of the cases it gives wrong impression, wrong ideas, wrong thoughts. So and then that's why we have to depend on the Paroksha, which is especially higher authorities. And then Aparoksha, then we have to realize, receive the knowledge, you have to apply it, then it becomes realization. Right? Or somebody may say, okay, if you chant the holy name of the Lord, it will help you to purify the consciousness. Then we have to follow, we have to not just hearing it, but we have to try it out and then see. Then, okay, then we ourselves will realize. Taste the Krishna Prasad, somebody may say, but then we have to try it out and see what is the difference between ordinary food and what is offered to Krishna. What is the difference? We'll only realize when we start practicing, start tasting, trying it out for a few days, few weeks, few months. Then we ourselves can see how Krishna gives realizations and Krishna gives the transformations in our heart, in our consciousness, in our activities, in our behavior, in our dealing with others in the family and outside. So everything, the perspective changes. So because that is done by the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, it becomes transcendental. Material transforms into transcendental. It becomes spiritual. Material transcends into spiritual. So even the food is same, but because Krishna has tasted it, Krishna has tasted with any of his parts. He can taste not just eyes, but he can taste with his legs and hands, and he can do with his eyes. And he leaves everything as is. That is the power of the Supreme Lord. So that's why there is a paroksha, then aparoksha. Aparoksha means realization. Then further than that, then is adokshaya. Until this aparoksha, it is Vaidi sadhana bhakti, means with rules and regulations. That's why while chanting there is rules and regulations, means 4 regulative principles. Even chanting, at least we should wash our hand and mouth as soon as we wake up. Before we chant, we should at least, because when we sleep there is a foam comes from our mouth, so that's why it is not clean. So we should clean our hands and mouth, and then we should start. And if you go to bathroom, then we have to take bath and then chant. So like that, there are certain basic protocols to follow for this process, even for chanting also. So that's why it has rules and regulations. Even paroksha, to receive the knowledge also, how we should receive. Then aparoksha, even that also, realizations. It has all this Vaidi sadhana bhakti, because it has certain rules and regulations. We are not fully pure, we are not fully attached to Krishna, we are not at there. So that's why it is not fully transcendental yet. It is in the process of transcendence, but it is not highly at the highest level. So the Pratyaksha, Paroksha, Aparoksha. And then coming next level is very close to the highest level is Adokshaja. Adoksha means Ada Akshaja. Ada Akshaja. That means one which we cannot perceive with our blunt senses, with our eyes, or our ears, our touch sensation, our nose, our tongue. We cannot directly perceive the Lord, the transcendental subject, with our blunt material senses, material intelligence, material mind, whether it's gross or subtle. So then that's why we need. So that is why it's called Adokshaja. Lord's name, another name of the Lord is Adokshaja. So that's why we say that Ata Sri Krishna Namad na bhaved grahyam indriyai sevon muke jihvado swayameva sproti ada. Only way we can realize what is right, what is not right, what is material, what is spiritual, So how this material world is working, functioning, who we are, what is our relation with the Supreme Lord, everything. In order to understand, we must follow this process of adokshaja. Adokshaja means then we have to purify our senses. When the blunt senses, otherwise our power of seeing, that's why Pratyaksh Praman doesn't work. So that's why we have to paroksha, receive the knowledge. And then after hearing, we have to apply it. Then it becomes paroksha, aparoksha. Then further, as you get realization more and more, then this is not just a stone. This is not just idol. This is a deity. You perceive, this is Acha Murti, Vigraha. This is a representation of Supreme Lord. It has potency. It's not just a stone. The deity talked to the devotee. But it takes time. Initially, in the neophyte stage, in the beginning stages, we will not be able to see. We may come, we may see the Lord, but we really don't have a connection. We don't have a relationship. We really don't have a faith also. Obviously, then Lord also doesn't reciprocate. Depending on how we are perceiving, how we are dealing, then accordingly he reciprocates. That doesn't mean he is denying food or it is denying what we need. He provides that anyway, whether you ask or not, as Super Soul is giving, as a Supreme Father is going to give, depending on what activities we have done. He is always looking after and he is trying to guide to some extent. But if we reject him, we really don't want to listen, then he's covered himself, he's covering. He's giving the forgetfulness, so then it becomes covered. So that's why adoksha means as you become mature in the process of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, some realization will start coming. Then you start perceiving, you start seeing and touching and feeling the confidence in the Lord and the relationship and how he is reciprocating, how he is showing his mercy, how he is giving you various things what you need in your life, how he is transforming even the various difficulties we may get. But Krishna is using those difficulties for us to come close and is also making it much more, we may not feel internally the difficulty, externally seemingly difficulty, but internally we don't feel the difficulty, whether it's health problem, job problem, or any other problem. Seemingly in office also sometimes there are so many problems we may get, but externally seemingly, but internally Krishna gives intelligence how to solve those problems. So we may face a little bit time, it may take time, but Krishna helps. As we are applying the process, then we will perceive it. We will see that realization ourselves. We will start developing that relationship with Krishna and various incarnations, Lord Narasimhadev, Lord Balaram, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, including his pure devotees, Sir Prabhupada. We can perceive. They are talking to us, they are guiding, they are telling, they are giving indications. Oh, you shouldn't take up this job, you shouldn't buy this home. So all these things will keep coming up, but not in the beginning stage. When we are in the beginning stage, those indications will not come. But as we become more and more mature, that guidance and indications and the perceiving the mercy of Krishna and his pure devotees, his representatives. So that is why it's called adokshaja. And that becomes more and more mature. The chanting will be so much rasa and bliss and happiness. So in so many levels it changes. That is called adokshaja stage. Gradually the realizations more and more mature, more and more thick, condensed. As you boil the milk, more and more becomes thick, and then you make so many things, rabdi, rasgulla and cham cham and whatnot, kalakand, so many flavors it comes to. Same way, so as the realizations, as our faith, and if you don't have faith, then it gets checked right there. As Krishna is mentioning in the 9th chapter, Asraddha dhana purusha dharmasyasya parantapa mrityu samsara vartamani. One who doesn't have faith, he'll never be able to understand me, he'll never be able to come to me. So then we cannot perceive. Then right there it stops. You may follow the process, but you doubt everything. This chanting, no effect, no point of chanting, no point coming temple, okay, prasadam may be alright, okay, it is not giving me food, something to eat, let me eat. But if you don't have faith in even the prasadam, understanding that this is actually mercy of Krishna, then will not get any realization. You will not be able to see the transformation. Neither we see that, feel that real bliss. We may get a teeny bit happiness, but we are not able to see it. So that's why take in the association of devotee, we should hear, in the association of devotees, we should chant, in the association of devotees also we should take prasadam, and we should distribute prasadam to others. We should exchange gifts with others by serving other devotees. In this way, then our actual faith will be developed. Just like as we make close friends, as we make close relatives, in relatives also, not everybody might be close. But how it established initially, first we have to understand other side. Then you get some, he's a nice person, he is nicely expressing, he has also nice impression about me, and he is nicely guiding, he is nicely instructing me, he is pointing out how things can be improved, how we can become better. So then the mutual relationship and that gives so much joy and happiness. Same way with the same way in the Supreme Lord. This is material, ordinary friends, ordinary relative. But coming to the Supreme Father, Supreme Lord, imagine how much he can reciprocate, because he doesn't have any enviousness, no jealousy, no expectation in return. Lord is not expecting, because everything is coming from him. He doesn't expect anything. Only is expecting when the living end is going to turn towards him. That is the only thing he is looking at. Is my son, is my daughter, he left me and he is always turning back on me. When he is going to come back? I am trying to persuade him, I am trying to tell him what is the right thing to do, how he can get actual real happiness, but he is always turning away from me. So in this, Krishna is thinking, hope tomorrow, this tomorrow is never coming. So that's why when we follow this process of this paroksha, aparoksha, then adokshaja, then gradually we are moving from one stage close. Then finally it is aprakruta, that is the highest stage. So the pratyaksha, paroksha, aparoksha, and adokshaja, and aprakruta. These are the 5 kinds of knowledge. Aprakruta means fully transcendental, not a single tinge of material. That comes under raganuga bhakti, where the full love, they have fully matured love and relationship with Krishna and his devotees, in his incarnation, his energies. They have full faith, fully in love with Krishna, like Vrindavan Vasis, Madhura Vasis, as well as Vrindavan Vasis, they are in the highest level of rasa. They fully has full faith in Krishna. No matter what difficulty comes, they know that Krishna is small child, but still they don't know that Krishna is Bhagavan, but they know that Krishna will save, Krishna protects. They are just dependent on him only, no matter what, how difficult the situation may be. They are not in anxiety. And Krishna every day used to save them, protect them, and so much rasa and bliss they used to get. So that is the difference. That is called aprakruta stage. Until adokshaja stage, still there is a vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Okay. Prakriti, first stage is pratyaksha is not even vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Okay. From paroksha it is starting, actual bhakti is beginning. Pratyaksha, all the materialists is after this pratyaksha pramana. Whatever they see, they believe. They don't see God. If they see the murti, the deity, the archa vigraha, they don't have faith. They don't believe it. They may come because if somebody asks, okay, parents, it's your birthday, marriage, anniversary day, go and just go to temple. You will get some nice job, or you will get married soon, or whatever. They may say, okay, they may follow just for that sake. But they don't have real faith. What will happen? Why the temple is there? What is the purpose? So they don't have that all the understanding. So that's why it is called pratyaksha is not so much significance. But the later, all the other 4 levels has a greater significance. It moves higher and higher and higher. Aprakruta is that highest, fully transcendent. So it is beyond Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. It is called Raganoga bhakti, Bhava bhakti. In that Bhava bhakti and Prema bhakti, where Krishna Prema, finally. So the Vrindavan Vasis are at the highest level. So in the Sakya Rasa, Shanta Rasa, Dasya Rasa is all the trees and the different animals. They are in the Shanta Rasa, neutrality. As Krishna is playing the flute, they are trying to bow down with their fruits and flowers and offering their obeisances to Krishna and Balaram. They are trying to offer everything to Krishna. They are waiting for Krishna when he is going to come and place. They are all, even they are expressing the neutrality because they are not in a human form. But still, they are so much expressed, that is the neutrality. Shanta. Dasya means servant, master servant kind of relationship. So that is a lower portion. In Vrindavan, there's not so much in the master servant relationship. Dasya is a little bit less, but still they feel they serve Krishna, and Krishna also serves them also. Madhumangal, Stok Krishna, Sudham, Sridham, Subhal, so many are there. All his covered friends. So they are, that service attitude is there, but they don't feel like so much as a master. So that service attitude, servant relationship is already there, but at a lower level. Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, friendship, that is there at for those who are covered boyfriends are at a Sakya, including Arjuna is a friend of Krishna in the Sakyaras. Then Vatsalyaras, as you see, especially Yashoda and Nanda and all the elderly gopis, they are waiting when Krishna is going to return from cow-herding from the forest. They are all waiting. So everybody is about how to communicate with Krishna, how to see Krishna, whatever shape or the form. Some complain, some form or the other, they want to see and hear and talk about Krishna always, 24/7. That is the only thing they have. So that's why they are on the highest stage of this aprakruta stage, the transcendental level. So that is now why Arjuna is seeing this. Arjuna is seeing all of them. What consciousness he is operating on? Why is till now he is ready? He told Arjuna, Krishna, bring the chariot. Senayor Ubhayor Madhya Radham Stapayame Achita. In between the armies and bring, so that I can see who and all are there, ready to fight. He is about to take his arrows and ready to shoot. He already shooted. In this verse, or before verse, Prabhupada explaining in one of the lectures or purport. So he released 2 arrows, one to Bhishma, one to Drona, because Bhishma is the grandfather, so much affectionate, and Dronacharya, even though they are on opposite sides, etiquette is there. You can see Arjuna. That's why you see in this verse and next verse, his transcendental qualities are exhibited, and immediately that changes. The first one is exhibiting is Vaishnava compassion. Okay, then is changing into material bodily attachment, because this Bhagavad Gita knowledge has to be given, so immediately it changes. So initially it is only he is operating on a Vaishnava compassion. So that in that way we see that. So because he doesn't have the, he is operating, he is only acting. Okay, so don't think that Arjuna is on that material platform. Arjuna has a bodily attachment. Like Parikshit Maharaj, also same thing. Parikshit Maharaj and Arjuna, all these great warriors, great devotees are put into that condition so that the purpose is solved. The purpose is main purpose of Krishna is being resolved. So in this case, Arjuna, Krishna wants Bhagavad Gita, the instruction should be given, and the secondary purpose is to resolve. Actually, put them in they have to rule the kingdom. That is the secondary, but the main purpose is actually to give the instruction to not just Arjuna and Pandavas. They are always following, they are always righteous, they are following Dharma. But it is rest of the people, the whole humanity, not just that time, but in future also, to all the time to come. So that's why Krishna spoke. But Arjuna is exhibiting, he is on the Prachaksha Praman. He is acting on the Prachaksha knowledge. Not on Paroksha, not on Aparoksha, not Adokshaya, not Aprakruta. He's not acting on that platform. So that's why he's being conditioned. Then it automatically is bringing attachment. He's seeing and he's relating with them, and he's forgetting his duty. Because when that knowledge, real knowledge is not there, then obviously he thinks at a material knowledge, material level, he's thinking I should think about myself, my family, my extended family. He forgot about who he is, Kshatriya, king. He forgot all that. As we can see now, the 27 is talking about that. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all this, Kaunte is also used, and Krishna is telling, you are son of Kunti. That's why I have chosen as a chariot. I became a chariot driver. Otherwise, I didn't take for any other purpose, because Kunti Maharani is Vasudeva's sister, and then Krishna is son of Vasudeva, Devaki and Vasudeva. So that's why, oh Arjuna, you are son of Kunti, you better act. I have taken chariot driver position only because we are in the same family, we are in the same family. So you better follow. Your Pandu and Kuntiman's son. He become better act as a Kshatriya. So in that way it is being used. In that next further it is mentioned is Arjuna Vacha. Then he is giving various reasons because of the bodily attachment. First let's see, understand the compassion. Vaishnava compassion is showing. He is telling here, Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up, which is Sidanti mama gatrani mukam cha parisushyati samupastito. So that means he is exhibiting the Vaishnava qualities, where is because there are two levels of consciousness. One is when we are in a transcendental level as a Vaishnava, as a devotee, then you feel compassion for others. They're always, oh, he is suffering, he is somehow, how can I serve, how can I? So in that way, he is thinking about them. Because Dronacharya, father and teacher and maternal uncles and sons and daughters, so many different degrees of relatives are there. And also you saw other, not only human beings, other animals, all species of life, so many are there. So that's why then immediately became overwhelmed with compassion, Vaishnava compassion. That's why Prabhupada is explaining in that purport about how the devotee develops automatically these 26 qualities of a Vaishnava. So humility, always serving others, so natural quality. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akincha sarvair gurais tatra samasate sura. So he naturally develops because he is always thinking in relation with Krishna. This is what first he exhibited that. So that's what it is mentioned here. I feel my, but immediately as you see, immediately changes his consciousness. The vepatuscha sarire me roma harshascha jayate gandivam samsate hastat tvakchaiva paridahyate. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my gandiva is slipping from my hand and my skin is burning. When will this happen? Then immediately it changes, consciousness is changing immediately. So it is changed into material consciousness. Now he is feeling completely his own family. He is thinking about his own family. He is not thinking about all others. Because it is only their family members assembled. But what about all others? When he is a Kshatriya, Kshatriya's meaning is Kshat. We all know Kshatagatra. Means those who are being injured. It is in the military and we hear this again and again in the news. So that same Kshatrayate iti Kshatriya. That means one who protects other living entities from being injured, from becoming injured. Means against the violence. The living and the Kshatriya's duty is to protect the living entity, the praja, not only human beings but other species of life also from violence by others. So that is the actual duty. But he forgot his duty. That's why you see. So in this material consciousness, the spiritual consciousness means you will also see Ashta Sattvika Vichar, which is trembling of the body and laughing and crying and rolling on the ground. All these things are there, but that is in a different consciousness. That is not the this consciousness, because when somebody will, their hair is standing on end, especially the sleeping, Gandiva is sleeping in the from a hand, and skin is burning, and the whole body is trembling. And from further, we see that clearly the material symptoms. It is not transcendental symptoms, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining in his verse, Kavitam va Jagadisha Kamaye, Mama Janmani Janmani Iswari, Bhavata Bhakti Rahaitu Twai. So how so many ecstatic symptoms exhibited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but that is in the transcendental state. But here Arjuna is in the material state because of the bodily attachment. So I am now no longer unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, the killer of the Kesi demon. So Viparitani, misfortune. So this is the first reason is telling there is no enjoyment. First of all, he is telling compassion. Oh, I am compassionate about my own family members. That is the first reason. He is telling not to perform the duty as a Kshatriya. Then second reason is giving misfortune. Oh, I am going to lose the whole wealth. Then whom I am going to share this opulence with? Especially is using, this is the doubt I have, KC demon. Remove the doubt. All these demons are like a doubts in our heart. So please remove this doubt. So that he is using that Kesava. Kesava word, Viparitani, misfortune. By thinking at a material level, not at a spiritual, not understanding the whole purpose of dharma, is not looking at holistically. He is looking at from Dharma Shastra, Niti Shastra. Is talking, is giving various reasons. When there is a difficult situation, we may try to give up. Oh, I don't want to take up this service. I don't want to take up this job. I don't want to go to this other state, travel. So may come up with so many ideas. Sometimes our kids also may say, no, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. But Arjuna is also giving in that way. It's too difficult. I cannot fight with my own family members. And he is giving these reasons. Compassionate. My own family, I cannot fight. Because it is going to cause misfortune. So much, we are going to lose so much money and friendship and relationship. My own family members are going to be lost, are going to be killed. So I don't want to fight. Further, he is telling, what good? Sreya, Anupasyam is also telling. Sreya means actually, he is telling, asking Krishna about the Sreyas, but actually it is prayers. He is looking for temporary happiness. That's why he is looking at the bodily attachment to his family members. But the real Sreyas means eternal happiness. Prayers means temporary happiness. We need, that's why in 2.7 also is the same word is used. Actual real happiness only we can get when we follow the direction of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna or his representative. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya aprasadat nakati kutopi. There is no way. And Shastra is telling again and again. Yasya Shastra vidim mustrijya vartate kama karana siddhim navapno nalavate param. In 16 or 17 chapter, first verse, we see that. Yes, minute we give up the rules and regulations following the injunctions of the Shastra, then we cannot get happiness. We may get some flickering happiness on day-to-day basis, but it is not going to last, and it is going to also bring lamentation, frustration. We see that. So that's why we see before itself is also mentioned. What is it? Yeah, we see Dantam, lamenting. Why this lamentation is coming? The lamentation is coming because of yes, it is mentioned because of the material attachment. In Isopanishad, that's why we read before Bhagavad Gita Isopanishad. It gives foundational knowledge. When the living entity gets lamentation, because of the bodily attachment. When he goes from bodily conscious to spiritual consciousness, then automatically you will not have this moha and soka. You will not have lamentation, you will not have fear, you will not have any hankering. Because Isopanishad verse number 7, Krishna is talking about that. The Anupasyami Sarva Bhutani. He is looking at all the living entities. He is not looking at externally, male, female, or son or daughter. He is only looking at as a actual spirit soul. He is looking at part and parcel of Krishna. So in that sense, then there is no hankering, there is no fear, there is no loss. So there is no lamentation about losing, because everything is happening by Krishna's will. So now it is will of the providence. So now that's why Parikshit Maharaj, you see, he is being cursed with 7 days to die. He is not lamenting. He is not cursing back. He is not asking, oh Lord, I am the great devotee. Why are you giving me this difficulty? He didn't go back like that. So he is very patiently. He wants to ready to. Rather, he was asking, when I want to face this difficulty right now. Immediately, I want to face the reaction, because I have done a heinous act. Immediately, he is so in a humble position as a Vaishnava is exhibiting these qualities. And they went to the bank of Ganga. So here Arjuna says that lamentation is coming out of the bodily attachment. And this Prabhupada is explaining in some other place about we can receive instructions, but there will not be any use. There will not be any use of instructions or any process we follow, for that matter. Bhakti Yoga also, till the point we follow Vairagya Vidya, detachment. Internal detachment. The specific verse Prabhupada is quoting Veeraragava Acharya, great Acharya from Ramana Sampradaya. A very important point actually, because we forget that. Because without that, that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give what? This is what he has come to give. Internal detachment. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. When we perform bhakti, automatically we are supposed to side by side with the knowledge also detachment. If you are not developing the detachment internally, not externally, internally, then that means there is something wrong in our process, in our consciousness, in our absorption, in our understanding, in our application. So that there is something not right. That's why we are not developing the detachment, internal detachment. Okay, don't misunderstand. We are talking about even Arjuna also. Actually, he is on the bodily concept of life. He is not giving. That's why that Samikishya, the same word, and then we see on the lamentation. All these are coming because this is lacking. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. Actually, the process of bhakti contains this vairagya, natural detachment. When we follow that same, that pratyaksha to paroksha to aparoksha to adokshaja to aprakruta, as we go on these levels, then naturally we are supposed to develop internal detachment for each and everything what we are attached to for many lifetimes. The line used by Prabhupada is quoting Veeraraga Acharya. Bhagavata upasanam upadekshmana vairagyam vina upadisto api bhakti yogana samyak pratitistati. That same word Samikshya we saw. So what it means is, Bhagavata upasanam, those who are worshipping are following the bhakti yoga process. Bhagavata upasanam, Supreme Lord's worship. Upadekshamana means receiving. Upadekshanti means receiving initiation, receiving a seed of bhakti from a bona fide spiritual master, advanced devotee. When we are worshipping, following the bhakti yoga and receiving this knowledge from a higher authority, vairagyam vina, if it is without developing this detachment, no use. Upadishta api bhakti yoga na samyak pratitishthati. It's not going to give the maturity. We will not be able to transcend as long as we don't follow, especially this vairagya vidya. So that's why vairagya is very, very important. We have to understand as we receive the knowledge, we understand and we have to start applying and we have to see how to develop this internal detachment. It's very, very important. Otherwise, we are not progressing, even though we are following for many years, but really we are not progressing much. Something wrong in our understanding and application and thoughts and desires. So that's it's a very important point. This is in Rishabhadeva's instruction, fifth canto. Prabhupada is making this point. So I could relate to this, how Arjuna is in this position, is exhibiting, but it is telling all of us that when we don't follow this transcendental, the knowledge in these 5 levels, and when we don't follow this kind of the Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga, Sikshardam, yes, Kubham Budir, Sariradari. I forget the law. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Sikshardam Eka Purusha Purana Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradari Krupam Budir Yastam Aham Prapadde. This is Sarvam Bhattacharya after hearing 7 days. After hearing from Mahaprabhu, then he quoted 100 verses immediately. From his mouth it came, and one of this very prominent verse Prabhupada quotes. So this is because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to especially establish this internal detachment in whatever ashram we are in, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, doesn't matter. Whether we're a Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaisya, Sudra. Naturally we have to follow this, gradually we have to develop this Vairagya Vidya. That is the whole purpose of Bhakti Yoga process. With that, we'll stop here. We'll continue next week. But we understand this section is titled, it is titled as Arjuna's reasons, Arjuna's doubts. He doesn't want to do his duty, and he's giving various reasons: compassion, compassion for his own family members, he forgot about all others, and then misfortune it's going to cause, and no enjoyment. In the 32 to 35 is talking, Govinda, you are giving the pleasure to cows, give me pleasure. No, Krishna is not here to give pleasure to our senses. Whatever we want, he is not ready to give the pleasure. Then what is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the demigods and us? Because Supreme Lord knows exactly what gives eternal happiness, what doesn't give eternal happiness. So that's why he is called Supreme Lord. He knows exactly. He may give, but he also knows how to transfer that attachment. Like Dhruva Maharaj got so much wealth, he ruled the kingdom, but at the same time, he became a transcendentalist. He was not attached to any of them. He went into the Dhruva pole star. He got material possessions, material pleasures, but at the same time, he was not attached to it. He developed that detachment. So naturally, because he worshipped Krishna and he performed Bhakti Yoga by Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, receiving from Narada Muni. In this way, we understand. All his doubts were removed. All his fear, lamentation, frustration, when his father asked him, not allowed him to sit on his father's lap. That's when he was angry, frustrated, lamenting, and so many things. Fear, everything was coming. All the material consciousness. But by following the process of these 5 kinds of knowledge, and then following this Vairagya Vidya, as we are seeing from Prabhupada quoting Veera Raghava Acharya, we can see all his doubts, all these demons of doubts of KC demon or many other demons, which we'll discuss in detail tomorrow in Bhagavatam class about the 1119 verse. So with that, we'll stop here. We'll continue other reasons what Arjuna is going to give in the next 10 verses or so till 46. Any questions?